like to be the better me I've never been before. Picture perfect melody, the song without a score. You always prefer I sing softer, the better way to be. And despite my attempts to scream louder, I've lost my remedy. Sing about my vanity, I'll strum a simple chord. It doesn't cure insanity, but I keep from being bored. And you'll always pretend I am stronger and better than I am. 'Cause you can't take the truth any longer. I'm just not that better man. So here I am, been searching for that better way, when there's nothing left to find. So if I'm dreaming, tell me how are you awake? Lucid feelings round my mind. Do you know what I'm saying? Allow me to apologize, I don't mean to raise my voice. But these situations oftentimes have me without a choice. 'Cause you always prefer I sing softer, the better way to be. And despite my attempts to scream louder, I've lost my remedy. So here I am, been searching for that better way, when there's nothing left to find. So if I'm dreaming, tell me how are you awake? Lucid feelings round my mind. Do you know what I'm saying?
There you have it, song number 1 on MSI. Now then, we go straight to our panelist, Ian. What do you think of song number 1?
I think this song speaks for itself. This is highly professional. This is a radio-ready track. It's well written, it's well performed, it's well mixed, it's catchy. It's got a great vibe to it. I mean, I'm struggling to find things to say about this. It is that good. This is ready to go. It's got that sort of Gwen Stefani, No Doubt sort of feel in the vocals to it, and everything's in its right place. The acoustic guitar sound is just fantastic. Sits there nicely without dominating. The dynamics of the actual writing are really strong, the way it sort of dips in and out in the chorus. Beautiful voice, good backing vocal arrangements, great lyrical qualities, and the ending was just on the money. Everything was there. I wouldn't want to change anything about this. If I actually had any means of doing something these days, I'd probably have a look, be interested in working on this track. But fantastic.
All right.
Easy as that.
All right. I appreciate it, Ian. Thank you very much. Tom Chianti, your thoughts on the first song of the day?
It's a great pick-me-up. It has a great vibe. The production values were all there. The guitars could have been the separation of instruments and use of space, as you know, is a big thing with me. The vocal could have been the vocal sound could have been better, but it was mixed in. I would have liked to hear it a little bit louder, but it definitely should have drawn the listener in more. She's got a beautiful voice. It should be featured more. The acoustic guitar was a little over big, not too much. I mean, like Ian says, it's picky, you know, these things. But when you get a track that's really good, you got to be picky because it's the only way to get it to the next level. There was a breakdown part where they could have really had the vocals come shining through, and I think it was lacking there. But for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It's catchy, it's hooky, and it's independent music, and that's what we're about.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Let's go to our guest panelist, John Gerkensmeyer. John, what do you think?
It's a hit. I mean, it's on the radio already, isn't it? It's got to be. I mean, there's. I only had one little slight issue. There was a cymbal in there that seemed like it never stopped, at least through parts of it, and it didn't sound like it just sounded like a noise rather than a cymbal. It took a while after it comes down to say, "Oh, that's a cymbal," but other than that tiny little thing, to me, I even like the song itself as opposed to its production. I mean, it was spot on. That's my opinion.
All right. Appreciate it, John. Thank you so much. Now, let me introduce that song to everybody and give you a little surprise information about it. The song is called Sing Softer by John Miller. And I got to let you know, during my research ahead of time, John is the singer, the male. He's a male singer with a very unique and interesting voice.
What?
Honest truth. Honest truth. So,
What?
I'm just telling you.
Did his name used to be Joan?
I don't believe so. His name is John, and
Oh, don't ruin the vibe. Don't pick on the guy. He's probably young, and once.
Perfect voice.
It's
Fantastic.
great, fantastic voice. Just not what you'd expect from a John.
it's a very unique voice indeed.
Remember
All right.
John, the prostitute said.
Rich had warned us earlier that we might be shocked at some of these things we're about to hear.
Told you it was going to be a unique show today. Now, guys, fight it out. Let me know who you think deserves that Song of the Week selection this week round.
First off, I would like to reiterate at this point in time what John was saying earlier. This is not a competition.
That's true.
This, all of these tracks this week have got very high merits in their own sort of aspect. So, it's going to be a tough week. What do you reckon, Tom? Because I think we've lost John by the looks of it.
No, John is still with us.
John went off the line here.
Listening to your wisdom. Oh, I just turned my invisible on, so. Yeah, you're totally right, Ian. It's we got 3 goodies this week.
Well, I personally, I loved all 3 tracks. They were all interesting their own way. Track number 2, that ending just killed it for me. Track number 3, like I said, started just to get on the verge of repetitive, and then it saved itself by bringing in the beautifully arranged background vocals and stuff. But it made me wait too long for the niceness, and I'm one of those guys that likes to be satisfied quickly, get it over with, thank you, next. And so I have really no problem with going with number 1.
All right. Ian or John?
I'll go ahead. We'll let Ian take the bait here.
Okay.
I thought all 3 were exceptional in their own categories. How do you pick a category? Well, I'm going to have to just go by complaints. if there was hardly any complaints, but I'm going to have to knock number 2 out because I thought it was too long, a little too repetitive, and just too weird at the end. So I can't go with number 2 for that reason. I'm really tossed between number 3 and number 1, and I just think that number 1 to me had absolutely nothing that I could find wrong with it. Absolutely nothing. So, and very, very little with number 3. So I just have to go with number 1. With no offense to number 3 or to number 2, I'm going to pick number 1.
All
How
right.
polite, John.
Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree, really. If we're looking at no problems, it is number 1. I would like to put a special commendation on number 3 and a special commendation on number 2, but I'm going to go with number 1 as well. It's hard, but it's the way it should be.
All right, there you have it, everyone. Song number 1, "Sing Softer" by John Miller, is this week's Song of the Week. And any parting words you guys would like to say before we play out with "Sing Softer"?
Who we got on the show next week, Rich?
On a show next week is a journalist and musician, Andrea Bensmiller from the Live to Play Network will be joining us next week.
Are you getting excited?
I am.
So just to
I
explain
admit
to our viewers that Rich has problems when we have female panelists on.
Well, we
Everything
have
seems
Andrea
to
on.
go wrong.
Andrea, yeah.
Well, you know, and the other celebrity whose name we shall not mention.
Yeah, that's true too.
You know, two female panelists, and it all falls apart. And
Well,
it's Rich's
Whose
nerves.
names we shall not mention. No.
He gets,
Dun dun dun.
gets all goo-goo-eyed and thumbs and trips over his feet and doesn't know what to do.
It's true. It's true.
Well, it's the only time he steps on his tongue. But, you know, he's got a lot on his mind. He's got to press buttons, twist knobs, and then he has to do the show.
I just wind up pressing the wrong buttons all the time. All right. I appreciate you guys being here today. John, thanks so much for joining us. It's always a treat having you on with us.
Almost any time.
Well, we appreciate that, and we will definitely be calling you back again at some point, I'm sure. So just be available. Don't move to Hawaii too quickly.
Well, that wouldn't affect this, but
That's true. That's true.
do me a favor.
Well, we'll follow you wherever you go. Wherever you are, we will track your bloody, bleeding ass down.
You can't track me now when you know where I am.
There you go. All right. Thanks again, John, for being with us. Thanks to everybody out in the chat room for being with us. Also, we definitely appreciate the fact that you're here. So until next week, we're going to leave you with "Sing Softer" once again, the song of the week on this week's MSI Music Scene Investigation.